If you've ever Googled how to make money online and ended up in a sea of scams or side hustles and 10-hour-a-day content grinds, well, this episode is your reset button, my friend. I'm going to show you how real online income is built with clarity, simplicity, and systems that actually scale. I call this my Effortless Income Engine, and it's how I run a multi-seven-figure business working less than 20 hours a week, actually less than 10 hours a week. No fluff, no hype, just the real playbook to attract your ideal clients, transform their lives, and get paid without burning out. Let's get into it. I get it. Most online business, online income earning content is just spammy. It's gross. I kind of hate that I'm even associated with it because there's such a negative connotation around it. At best, it's vague, which is also useless. Vague information isn't helpful. So this episode is not going to be that. Okay, we're not going to be talking about affiliate links, although affiliate marketing is a legitimate model. We're not going to be talking about affiliate links. We're not going to be talking about passive income hacks. You can game the system and not have to do anything and money just comes in. We're also not going to be talking about how to become an influencer, building a giant YouTube channel or becoming huge on TikTok or Instagram. That takes both a lot of work and a lot of luck, and I don't like either. So what I'm going to share with you is the things I've learned over 16 years. Yeah, 16 years now coming up on running two online businesses in two different niches. Well, I've made millions selling to hobbyists, musicians, and I've made millions more selling to business owners and beginning business owners and successful business owners. So I've done this. I've been in the industry long enough to see what worked, what still works, and what is working in the future. And so I've cobbled it all together to give you just one, no BS guide, just the facts. So what we're going to do is zoom out and look at the system. We're going to look at the engine. We're going to look at the core components that will make you money online. So whatever niche you want to be in, whatever niche you're already in, whatever platform you like to be on, whatever type of work you like to do, these principles are true for you just as much as they're true for me. And once you understand them and some of the strategies underneath those principles, then you can apply them directly in your life and your business. And this is how you're going to be able to make real, meaningful money. My goal for you would be to get to $20,000 a month, very, very soon. Because that's like breathing room, right? If you get to $20,000 a month, which is a little over $600 a day, you now are living a great life in most people's worlds. And then also, selfishly, what's cool about that is once you're making that kind of money, well, then you might realize you want to make more and you might need some help because you get to that level, there's new problems. And that's where I come in and I serve my clients all the time, getting them to 100K months and beyond. But let's just start with how do we get to 20,000 a month? Well, let me show you the model and we'll unpack all of it as we go. Now, let's start with the most important thing before the model. Before you get into the what, before you get into the systems, before you get into the tactics and the strategies, the most important word when it comes to anything in business is the word who. Who are you going to serve? Most important decision you'll make, okay? When I sit down with my clients, a lot of times their who is very confusing. It's diluted. It's all over the place. I want to serve anybody, everybody. My offer is going to help everybody. What I do helps everybody. No. You don't get that choice. I mean, you can make that choice, but you're not going to make money. If you want to make money, you have to have one who. Who is the person you want to serve? And I think the shortcut to this answer without deep diving into this question comes from my friend Rory Vaden, who has the perfect quote on this. He says, "You're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were." Think about that. You went on a transformation journey at some point. If you haven't, you probably need to think a little deeper and ask, well, maybe I am transforming. I have learned things. What transformation journeys have I been on? Was it a health journey? Did I get in shape? Was it a money-making journey? Did I struggle to make money and then I figured out how to make money? Was it a relationship journey? Did I have a marriage that was falling apart, but then we discovered some principles and made some changes and now we have a thriving marriage? Was it a parenting journey? Were your kids crazy and it was overwhelming and then you figured out how to reframe the way you parent in your home and now you've got incredible children and a great relationship, a peaceful home? Was it sleep training your child? Was it helping get your dog trained when your dog was a wild animal? Was it that your piano playing ability was weak and you took lessons and it was really hard to get better at piano, but then you found a new method and you all of a sudden got really good at piano in 30 days? Like what transformation, big or small, have you gone on? Because if you've been on a transformation journey, then there was a past you, there was a person you used to be, and there are likely millions of other people just like the past version of you out there right now. And those people need your help. In fact, those are the people you're most qualified, I think, to serve, because you once were those people. Like, you know their problems, you know their pains. In fact, that's where I would start, is what was the big problem you had? What were the pain points you felt? You know what their big desire and dream is. If I could just, what is it? If I could just get my wife to respect me, if I could just get my kids to obey, if I could just make $10,000 a month, if I could just get my recordings to sound better, if I could just lose that extra final 5 pounds, if I could just, what was that thing that you wanted? You know that. And that's the thing they want. What are the payoffs that will come once you get that big dream? Once you lose that weight, once your marriage is restored, once your music sounds good, once you're finally making $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month, what are the other ripple effects of that? You just brainstorm off of, you don't have to guess, because you were that person. That's what's so great about serving the past you, is you were that person. Once you have clarity on the problem, the pains, the dream payoff, and all the other subsequent payoffs, then go back and think about, well, what steps did you take to get there? Like, what did you do first? What did you do second? When you were going on this journey and learning, whether you were reading books or you were taking courses or you just had a mentor or somebody in your life that helped you, what were the steps, big picture, you took to get there? This is your process. This is your method. You just kind of noodle on all of this. And the great thing is when you serve the person you once were, you have credibility to serve that person, because guess what? You've transformed. You know their pain, but you're not stuck there anymore. So that's all the credibility you need. You've helped someone get that result yourself. Now go help other people do it. So you have the credibility. And 2, you have the language. Like, you don't have to make up marketing lingo. You don't have to guess what they want. You just speak to that past version of yourself in everything you do moving forward. You see how this is the shortcut to knowing what's going to be the most profitable and easy business for you to build? And there might be a couple of niches you could speak to, because you probably have had transformation in multiple areas. And that's fine. When in doubt, pick the one that you're either most passionate about, meaning it's the one you could talk about for the next 5 to 10 years, or pick one that's in one of the 3 money-making buckets, meaning they're the easiest to make money in, which is health bucket, the wealth bucket, or the relationships bucket. And almost every business can be a sub-bucket of those 3, if you really think about it. And that's kind of your job, is to show how what you talk about and what you do and what you teach and ultimately what you're going to sell can help them with their health in some way, help them with their wealth in some way, or help them with their relationships in some way. If you can tie everything back to one of those 3, you'll print money. So just some helpful filtering, okay? So again, your avatar unlocks everything for you. Your messaging, your offers, your content, all the stuff we're going to get into. For me, my first business was called The Recording Revolution. I was broke, unemployed. It was the middle of a giant recession. In fact, the Great Recession of 2009. I had a baby and a mortgage and a wife and bills, and I was scared out of my mind. And the only thing I could think to do was help other musicians learn how to record their music, because that was a pain I had as a musician who wanted to learn how to record his music years ago. And I'd learned a lot. I'd even gone to college because I was so obsessed with it and became a passionate fan of the art of recording. I'd learned everything you could possibly learn, and I didn't think I knew everything, but I learned everything I could learn, and I just started sharing that. And it was very easy for me to grow an audience, create offers for those people, even though I didn't know anything about selling, anything about content. I figured it out quickly because I used to be that person. Turns out there were millions of other people like old version of Graham. And so that's where I built my first business. The Who was previous version of me, the teenage version of me that could not figure out how to make my recording sound professional. And then once I built $1 million business and I realized so many other people were struggling to start businesses, I was like, it would be so cool to help those people because that was me. I was broke, struggling. I didn't understand the business model. I had no help, no mentors, no courses, no YouTube. I didn't know this was a thing. I would love to help those people. And so now I've made tens of millions of dollars helping people start and grow online businesses because that was the person I once was also. I've changed niches because that was a new transformation journey I went on. Is this making sense? Cool. This is the most important question you got to decide on. And it's a fun question, but once you decide on it, once we get through all the other pieces, it'll make so much more sense. Just remember, your online business and making money online does not start with a product. It starts with a person. Anyone that tells you otherwise, it's all about the product you sell without asking you who you're going to sell it to. They're just trying to sell you something, okay? You got to know the person. Everything else becomes clear after that. All right, let's get into the Effortless Income Engine. So there's 3 components. This is how I view business. If you were to come to me and hire me to coach you in your business, whether starting it or scaling it to 100K a month consistently or more, these are the 3 things I'd look at. Number 1 is your client magnet, okay? There's 3 things: your client magnet, your magic offer, and your effortless enrollment. Those are the 3 things. Client magnet. What the heck is a client magnet? The client magnet's job is attraction, okay? You can exist and you can be amazing and you can have the ability to transform somebody's life in your area of expertise. But without attracting any prospects or potential clients, you're not making any money, right? We need other people, right? I've heard Myron Golden say, all the money you could ever want is out there. It's just in someone else's pockets. And so there's 2 ways to get it. You could either steal it from them, hit them over the head and steal it from them. I don't recommend that way. Or we could signal to those people that we exist and offer them so much more value that's to them worth more than the money in their pocket that they are happy and willing to exchange some of that money for the value we can create, the transformation we can give them, which we'll get to in a second. So the money's out there. When people say, oh, there's no money, people aren't spending money. Yeah, they are. I just had my best month in business ever in 16 years. There's money being transacted every single day in every single economy. I built my first business in the middle of a recession where the whole planet was like, this is the end. Everyone was crying, it's the end of the world. And I built $1 million business, not knowing what I'm doing. Imagine how much you can do when you know what you're doing. So the money's there. It's just in someone else's pocket. So how do we get it? We have to attract a client. We need a client magnet. So in short, all a client magnet is, in my mind, is 1 piece of long-form content a week. Let me give you an example of what that looks like. This, I'm doing it right now. It's called The Graham Cochran Show. It is my video podcast. Once a week, if you haven't noticed, I upload a 30 to 45-minute video podcast like this. You are either watching it right now on YouTube or you are listening to me on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. This is my client magnet. Now, the great thing about a client magnet is it's doing 2 things. Well, it's doing a lot of things. It's doing 2 things. Number 1, you're getting to serve people for free, right? I'm putting this content out there in the world, and you may not be a client of mine. You may not have ever given me any money, and yet you get to be coached by me. You get my 16 years of business acumen. I've generated tens of millions of dollars online. I've coached people up to millions of dollars a year. And you get that for free. You're getting it right now. That's amazing. I get to serve you for free, which I love that part of the business model. I get to serve the masses for free, which is really, really important as we get to the second piece of this income engine. So hang on to that for a second. But practically for you, the reason you want this client magnet, this long form piece of content, is to attract a client. So we get to serve people powerfully. But when you do it right, this is like you putting out a signal to the world of like, hey, here's who I am. Here's who I can help. And here's how I can help them. So that the ideal client sees that signal and tunes into that signal and says, man, I really need more of what she's putting out there in the world. I really need to get into his world. I wonder if he has more to offer. Without you putting that out there in the world, how are people going to know you exist? You really have 1 of 2 ways to get clients. Well, you have 3 ways. 1 is word of mouth, which is great if you have word of mouth. You need current clients and customers to do that. And then you need to be so good that they tell everybody about you. And that will happen eventually. It's impossible to start there, generally speaking. So then the main two ways are run ads, which is pay to show up in front of where people are, whether they're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or on YouTube. And that can work great. But that requires some upfront money. It requires a specific skill set because you're taking the leap of faith by spending money to get clicks to hopefully make money in the back end, and it can totally work. So it's either paid ads or you could do both, content marketing, which is what this is. So I'm putting my stuff out there in the world, and I want it to do one thing and one thing only outside of serving you, is I want it to attract my ideal client. So I don't really make this show for everybody. I make this show for a specific type of person. I make this show for the person that will revere and respect me, who wants to make way more money in their business, but not at all costs. They also want to work 20 hours a week or less, which is a benchmark, I feel like, for success. If it's costing you more than 20 hours of your week every week to generate the lifestyle you want, you're doing it wrong. Highly inefficient, massive waste of your time. And there's so many more things you want to be doing with your life. Being with your family, traveling, going to the gym, sleeping, getting a donut somewhere, watching Star Wars. I mean, these are meaningful pursuits that require time. So I don't want to be working all the time to do that. So I'm going to create content in such a way that attracts someone who wants to scale to $100,000 a month, who wants to work less than 20 hours a week, and who wants to do so ethically, legally, and with purpose and alignment. It's really important to me. There's a lot of ways to make money. There's a lot of ways to make money with little effort, but not all of those ways are aligned with your purpose so that you wake up every day excited to run your business because it's lining up with who you are as a person. Money, margin, and meaning are the three foundational things I want in my business and life, and I want for my clients. So I'm going to talk about those things and attract people. I'm going to repel the hustle bros. I'm going to repel the guys who want to stand in front of a Ferrari, right? I'm going to repel the people that don't want to show their face, that just want to run faceless marketing and just point and click and have a system that makes money without them serving anybody. I'm going to repel those people because that's not what I believe in. That's not who I am. And that's not who I want to work with. And it's also not who's going to like working with me. So the great news is that I don't need a huge YouTube channel. I don't need everyone to like me. I just need to attract the ideal client. Is this making sense? Okay. So we're going to focus practically on searchable, evergreen platforms like YouTube. You can use social media platforms like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, but YouTube is not social media. It's a search engine. It's a content platform that really keeps your content evergreen. It's a lot more like Netflix, right? It's like a highly searchable Netflix. You can put out a video and 7 years later, it can still be attracting clients for you. Otherwise, on social, you have to post all the time, and you have to hope you go viral for your content to continue to show up in the discovery pages. And I just don't want to play that game. You don't need viral content on YouTube to get discovered and to get clients. So I like searchable evergreen platforms like YouTube. Podcasting can work well as well. But if you're a podcaster, I would just say film your podcast so it becomes more searchable on a platform like YouTube, because the podcast apps aren't as searchable as YouTube. You don't have to dance. You don't have to take off your clothes. You don't have to hustle daily. You don't have to chase trends. You don't have to do any of that crazy stuff. You just have to do one thing and one thing only, which is build trust with your ideal client. So that's why it goes back to who is your ideal client? The who matters so much. How could you build trust with that person? Speak to that person's pain points, that person's problems, that person's hopes and dreams. Speak to the inner dialogue they're having, the conversation they're having, the doubts they're having about what you're saying. Speak to that stuff. And your goal is not to make a sale. Your goal is not to do anything. It's not to get a subscribe or a like. Like, who cares? Your goal with your client magnet, which is your one piece of long form content a week, is simply to build trust. Build trust. That can happen in one video. That might take a year of them watching your videos. Who knows? That's up to them based on where they are in their journey. But your goal is always to build trust. If you take away nothing, just remember this. To win online, you don't have to go viral. You just have to be valuable. Okay? Who cares about going viral? Be valuable to your ideal client, and you'll have a steady stream of clients. So that's part one of the Effortless Income Engine, is the client magnet. And its point is to attract your ideal client, and you do that by building trust. Now, The second thing you need for this business to work, to make money online, is an offer. You need something to offer them, something to sell them. And the word offer is very intentional and important because we're not selling products, although there might be a product in it. It might be a service too. What matters more is the offer. And the offer is always about a result or a payoff. The offer is always about what do they get. I'm offering to give them something. It will be in exchange for money, of course, but you have to focus on what could I offer them that they would find absolutely irresistible. So you don't want just any kind of offer. You want what I call a magic offer. And a magic offer is special because a magic offer is going to be a high ticket offer that's easy to convert. There's 4 types of offers, right? You've got pointless offers. These are low ticket, hard to sell offers, meaning they cost very little, meaning you make very little when you sell them, and they're really hard to sell. Absolutely pointless. Why would you ever have an offer that's low ticket and hard to sell? Okay, let's assume you're not doing that because that's just dumb. What most people then do is have low ticket, easy to sell products. $29 courses, $97 courses, right? Things like that. $20 an hour for coaching. That's low ticket, easy to sell. The problem with these offers, I call them needy offers, is because, hey, you need a lot of them to make a lot of money. You need 1,000 people paying you $10, right, to make meaningful money. 1,000 people paying you $100 to make $100,000 every year. That's a lot of people. So you need a lot of them. But also, I call them needy offers because you're attracting needy customers. And I hate to say this, but it's not always true, but I've been online for 16 years. Trust me, the people that pay the least demand the most and complain the most. The people who pay the most demand the least and complain the least. It's interesting. It's a filter. So needy offers, you can make millions of dollars with needy offers. I've done it. I wouldn't recommend it. And it's getting harder and harder to do that in this day and age. Third category are high ticket offers. Everyone says, oh, go high ticket. Charge a lot more. High ticket offers that are hard to convert. And that's what most high ticket offers are, by the way. They're expensive. That people don't explain it very well. You have to jump on a sales call. It's awkward. That doesn't help you either. I call those exhausting offers because that's exactly what they are. They're exhausting to sell. Even if you do sell one, you have to give your life away to get that sale. That's why people are turned off by high ticket. What we want is the Goldilocks approach. We want something that is high ticket and easy to convert. And I call these magic offers. And I'm going to give you the shortcut to this. I literally have an entire 5-day experience called my 10K Offer Challenge, where I teach you how to build one of these magic offers in real time. You should come. The next one's happening next week. Details are below, but go to 10kofferchallenge.com. And if you missed it when you're watching this video, sign up for the next one. Right? I'm doing this every month. Come to the next 10K Offer Challenge. It's not free because I don't want tire kickers. I want someone who's serious and I want you to be committed, but it's not expensive. Okay? Super, super affordable. Get your ticket. What you do is you come and for 5 days, about an hour each day, we go live and I teach you the science of scaling. I teach you how to scale with high ticket offers and how easy it is to do it and how the premium buyers are the best kind of buyers, how to find those buyers, how to make an irresistible offer. I teach you my magic offer framework. I teach you, literally, we build it real time, workshop it real time, and then I teach you how to sell it without going on sales calls, without having a complicated funnel, without having a sales team, like the most effortless way to sell people. So we've had people on this challenge literally go from, I don't know if I could sell anything, to creating and selling a $12,000 offer that week. One girl hadn't even launched her business. She's a musician. She created a $40,000 offer and sold it on day 4. She was going to launch a $100 a month membership and she launched a $40,000 offer and sold it. We had one guy go from selling a $2,000 a month service to 5Xing it to a $10,000 a month service, and somebody signed up for a year. So he landed a $120,000 client and he was scared to even say $2,000 a month. And he got a $120,000 client. This is real, friend. This is happening live on the next 10K Offer Challenge. So come, we could transform your business very, very fast. It's one of my favorite things I do all month. So come to that. I'll put the link in the description below. But the magic offer is a key component of the Effortless Income Engine. That's why I do a whole challenge on it so you can build it and you can start scaling right away. The key is to have a high ticket offer, not low ticket, high ticket offer that solves a real problem for your ideal client. Not an imaginary problem, not a problem you think they have, not a problem you want to solve just because you like solving it, but a real problem they have. That's why knowing who you're serving matters. That's why serving who you once were makes this so much easier, because you can go back in time and think about what was the big problem I had. I had lots of little problems, but at the end of the day, if I kept asking myself, if I could just solve this, that's the problem you want your offer to solve. The beautiful thing about having this magic offer, when you craft it the way I teach, it makes it irresistible, is that you need fewer clients. You can serve them at a deeper level, and they are happy to pay you more, which gives you more income and more impact with less effort, with a smaller channel. One of my clients, she is a English pronunciation coach for native Japanese speakers. Okay, which means she doesn't teach English. She helps Japanese speakers improve their accent. She has a YouTube channel of around 500 people. 500. That's considered small, arguably, by most people. Most people don't want a YouTube channel of 500 people. They want millions or 500,000. She's 500, not even 5,000, 500. She's been able to leverage that YouTube channel of 500 people into $30,000 a month in her business. Why? Because she has a magic offer. She has a beautiful, easy converting, high ticket coaching program that people watch her videos on YouTube. They realize, she's my girl. How can I work with her? And she enrolls them into her program, which we'll talk about in a second. That's the beauty of this. You don't need to go viral. You don't need to be huge. You've got your client magnet attracting the right person, and you make them a magic offer. Again, you don't need 1,000 customers when you do it this way. You could make $1 million a year business with just 10. You need a $100,000 offer. I've sold them. It's real. It's very possible. But a $5,000 to $10,000 offer, game over. If you come to the 10K offer challenge and you build your $10,000 offer, which you will with me, that's my guarantee. You'll walk away with your $10,000 offer built. And then you start to set up the system that I teach in the challenge to sell it. You sell 2 of those a month. Just 2 a month. And you're making $20K a month. You don't need to sell every day. Yeah, you'll average over $600 a day, but you just need 2 people to say yes a month. That's it. It's so doable instead of needing 2,000 people or 200 people to say yes to your $100 offer, $1,000 offer. All right. You need a magic offer, and the key to the magic offer, if the client magnet's purpose is the attraction, the magic offer's purpose is transformation. The way we get paid, the only reason why people pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars each, is I give them something that's more valuable than that. I give them transformation. In my first business, the transformation I gave them was that their music went from sounding like crap to sounding so professional that they were proud of their recordings, proud to put it on a demo to get gigs, proud to put it on Spotify, proud to share it with their friends and family. That was the transformation I gave them. Without them having to buy more expensive equipment, they could do it on their budget equipment. To them, that was worth forking over money. These days, the transformation I give is I help people create $50,000 to $100,000 months in their business consistently, like predictable income, 100K months predictably, working 20 hours a week or less. That's very valuable to someone. So they'll pay me a lot of money for that, right? My VIP clients, my VIP day is a $250,000 offer. $250,000 to work with me for a day. You get some more stuff than that, but functionally 8 hours of coaching. Why would somebody pay me that? Because in one day, I'm going to help them engineer another $2.5 million a year in their business. Because that type of person that can afford to spend $250K, and the person that I would filter through my application process is in a place where they're already doing $50,000 a month. They're already doing $1 million a year potentially. So I'm going to help them scale. They have the things in place to scale, and I'm going to be able to bring them millions of dollars in revenue. So it's worth them forking over $250,000. I'm giving them a transformation. That's what you need to do, is give your client a transformation that's worth more than the money that they're paying. Make sense? You only need one magic offer to change your life. You don't need a ton of offers. You don't need a ton of products, just one. So you got the client magnet, which is the attraction. You've got the magic offer, which is the transformation. And finally, number 3, the last part of the Effortless Income Engine is the effortless enrollment process. Effortless enrollment, and this is the conversion. So you got people to sell to. You got an attractive, irresistible offer to sell to them. Well, now you got to actually sell it to them. And the way you sell really matters. There's lots of ways to sell. Again, there's lots of ways to make money. You can go on sales calls. You can have a sales team. There's a lot of things you could do. I don't like to do those things. I don't want a team. I don't want to jump on calls, one-on-one calls. So somebody might say no. I just don't want to spend my time doing that. So I like evergreen, low lift systems, meaning that they're always working in the back end for me. So examples of these might be paid challenges, like my 10K offer challenge. I have tickets selling to that challenge 24/7, right? Even right now, somebody's buying a ticket to that challenge. You come to that challenge, it's going to transform your life. But that's not it. I don't just invite you to the challenge and give you what I'm promising you. I'm going to invite you to something else at the end of that challenge, right? So, because it's a great filter for people who are like, hey, I want this outcome. I give you that outcome. They spend 5 days with me. They realize, oh my gosh, I need Graham way more than he needs me. And when they realize that, and they realize what I've been helping them do, like helping someone go from I might sell a $100 a month membership to selling a $40,000 offer that week, that person's going to be like, what else does Graham have? Well, then I can make an offer to those people. I can present my magic offer to those people. So I'm selling tickets evergreen, and then I can one-to-many sell my high ticket offers instead of one-to-one. So let's leverage the selling process with one-to-many. Let's use evergreen systems like paid challenges, or these could be webinars. You could do a free webinar. People automate into a webinar. It can be an auto webinar that's adding value, giving them transformation, then showing them an offer they can buy on that webinar. There's a limit to how much you can sell on a webinar, especially an auto webinar. But you can use webinars. You can use email sequences. I use a combination of all three. I'm not doing one-on-one calls for 95% of my income in my offers. Does that make sense? So the beauty of having these evergreen low-lift systems, and you get to choose what you want, and this is all very doable. The technology is very simple. Tools like Kajabi, whatever you choose to use, it's so much easier today than it was 16 years ago when I got started. The beauty is you can sell every day without doing these daily sales calls, without having a calendar filled up. I don't jump on call. My calendar yesterday, I spent all day outlining my new book and watching a training and coming up with a new idea and a new framework. Today, I've been prepping some content that I'm going to teach to some of my clients, and I've been recording this podcast. Like I'm not. My calendar is wide open. Yesterday and today, like I'm just in the office, like learning and trying and thinking. Like as a thought leader, I need to think thoughts. I'm not on sales calls, and that's by design. I don't want to be on sales calls. I don't want to have to be on a sales call. I want to have the flexibility to just disappear or not come to the office, or just I like to be by myself anyway. So if you're an introvert, you're going to love this model. So again, the beauty of this system is you don't waste your time jumping on a call trying to sell somebody a high ticket thing. You use automation, you use positioning so that you get these pre-sold clients. What do I mean? Let's go back to what we've already built. If you're doing your one piece of long form content each week, your client magnet, well, you're like transforming their thinking. You're transforming their identity. You're already proving to them that you're the girl, you're the guy for them. They get to test drive your brain. And you've been so generous. When people watch your stuff, like I've had people watch my content for a few months and then immediately spend $54,000 with me. Watch me for a few months and immediately spend $20,000 with me. Because they've spent time with you, they realize, okay, I know what she can do for me. I know what he can do for me. And I like the way he thinks. I like the way she thinks. I understand his worldview. I understand her worldview. I like the way he communicates. I like the way she communicates. You're doing that one-to-many. You're just committed to the one piece of content a week, and you let your client magnet, your content, start to pre-frame and pre-sell people, and then use evergreen systems like a webinar or a paid challenge or whatever, sort of this sort of entry core product thing. It could be your book. If you have a book, you can have your content that sells your book. That pre-sells them even more, and then the book can point them to your challenge or point them to an application where they can jump right into your program. Like you've pre-sold them, so you don't have to sell. Effortless enrollment is all about a system. It's not about selling, it's about a system. The system involves training, pre-indoctrination, as Myron Golden will call it, but it's really transforming their thinking and shaping their beliefs and their identity in such a way that they think the things you think. They believe the things you believe. So now they become a person who could say yes to your offer. So then when you present the offer, and if you build your offer the right way, the way I teach in the 10K offer challenge, it's irresistible to them. They see it and they immediately know they want it. And it's just a matter of whether they can afford it right now or not. And that's a decision ultimately they have to make. It's not a decision you have to make for them. And so the beauty of it is this pre-selling process and letting the systems and automation work for you, and sort of the marinating inside of your world long enough when you get to the actual sales process, whether it's a sales page, a sales video, a one-to-many training where you put out the offer to the group live on a call, or even a sales call. If you decide to do that, they're 95% of the way there. And you're just teeing it up and saying, here's the offer, here's what it's going to do for you, here's the price. Yes or no? Sales isn't a skill set, my friend. It's a system. It's a system. And when you set it up right, even the most introverted, people avoidant of us can make millions of dollars online. All right, so you've got your client magnet, which is the attraction. You've got your magic offer, which is the transformation you're going to bring to them. And then you finally have your effortless enrollment, which is your conversion mechanism. Here's why this engine works when you put those three things together. Number one, it's built for three things. It's built for margin. It protects your time. So important. I don't want to make money at all costs. I never do. If I have a financial goal, it is always paired with a time goal. So I knew that if I wanted to make $1 million a year years ago. It was one of my goals. I want to get from 6 figures to multi-six to 7 figures a year. But that wasn't enough. I wanted to do that in 20 hours a week or less. I hit that goal for the first time in 2018. And I've hit it every year since. On top of that, I've got my work down to 5 hours a week now. This is insane. And we did a couple $1 million last year, 5 hours a week. And I don't actually need to work for that money to come in. That's what's kind of crazy. It's mind-boggling. So for me, I want this system for you in place. I want this effortless income engine in place for 3 reasons. And the first one is you want margin. A lot of ways to make money, but not everyone gives you margin. So you want margin. It gives you that. Number 2, it gives you a mission. It makes your business very simple. You're not out there to extract money from people. You're out there to serve people powerfully. And you do it in your client magnet. You build offers that serve them powerfully with the transformation. So then the effortless enrollment, the enrollment really is effortless. Getting people into your coaching programs or coming to your live events or buying your product is so effortless because you're not trying to extract anything from them. You've given them so much in value that they realize they need you way more than you need their money. And it's an almost automatic yes. And so that you can then be missional about what you do. I want to help these kind of people have this transformation journey. And you can give and give and give, knowing that with your magic offer selling effortlessly on the back end, there's tons of margin financially as well as time that you can live a great lifestyle knowing that you're not selling anything to anybody or in terms of like, I need to convince anybody. Selling is not convincing. Those are 2 different things. You're putting out an offer that they realize they need. They've come to the conclusion on their own that they need your offer because it will bring their transformation. And that allows you to live in mission. I wake up every day 100% confident that I'm doing good in the world because I know even if you don't buy anything, even if you don't come to my challenge, which would be a real sad waste of your opportunity, man, please come. It's going to transform your life and business. But I know even if you don't, I got to serve you today. I can go to bed tonight, sleep really, really well, knowing that I gave you a blueprint for how to make money online. Like this is the blueprint. However you like to do it, this is the blueprint. And that feels good. You can have that too, knowing you're transforming people's lives even for free. Which again, one of the hangups about magic offers being high ticket is I don't want to exclude anybody. You're not excluding anybody. You're giving away stuff for free every week. If they can't afford your high ticket magic offer, they can go watch your free stuff over and over and over again until they are in a position where they can afford to pay you what you're worth. And that's the beauty of this model. So I love the missional element of it. And then finally, it's built for millions. This isn't built for 6 figures a year, although what I just taught you will get you to $20K a month very easily. It's built for millions of dollars a year, and it does not require you scaling up in effort. That's what I love about it. It actually, the better you get at this, the less you're required in your business. That's crazy to say. That's why you build systems and let those systems scale for you. So there's no hustle culture here, friend. There's no burnout. It's just simplicity. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. What is the simplest business model? I just gave it to you. You can run that probably $2 to $10 million a year. Run that play. Beyond 10, it might be a little more complex. But if you can live a great life on $2 to $10 million a year, every year, 20 hours a week or less, you run this play all day. It's low volume, high trust. It's 20 hours a week or less. It's sustainable. It's scalable. It's beautiful. That's why I teach it. That's why I love it. So friend, at the end of the day, the way to make money online is there's just no formula other than attract your ideal client, not the whole world. Transform their lives through one good high-ticket magic offer and convert sales effortlessly through a system, not a sales skill set, a sales system. If you need help with any of that, you need to come to the 10K offer challenge. As of this video coming out, we're starting on Monday. So the link is below, 10kofferchallenge.com. Go register, get your ticket before they're sold out. There's limited tickets. Come, spend a week with me. We'll go live for about an hour a day, unless you choose the VIP option. You get to come an hour earlier, and I get to do actual live coaching with you. But whatever you choose, come spend an hour to 2 with me a day for 5 days, and you will walk away with your very own irresistible $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 offer. And not only that, you'll understand the psychology of attracting high-ticket buyers, and you'll have a system in place to sell it effortlessly. It's so much fun. I cannot wait to see you there. And if you've already come, you should come again. Come again and again and again until you get better and better and better at this, my friend. All the details are below, or go to 10kofferchallenge.com. And if you missed this one, you'll see the dates for the next one. Sign up, get your ticket there before they're gone. I hope this served you powerfully. If it did, let me know in a comment below. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, or always Instagram me at @TheGrahamCochran. Send me a DM and let me know that this episode was helpful for you and gave you an unlock. And I hope to see you on another episode real soon.